Text.
Troubleshooting an overfilling Icemaker tray in an LG refrigerator.
A stainless steel LG refrigerator in a kitchen. An animation of its Icemaker tray overfilling with water inside.
If your LG refrigerator's Icemaker tray is overfilling with water, this is usually the result of the home water pressure being either too high or too low.
Pressure gauges on pipes. Water flows from the dispenser on the front of the fridge.
This video will cover checking and correcting the water pressure to the unit, as well as water pressure issues with custom Q, craft ice, and twist and serve trays.
Ice trays inside the freezer.
For reference, the water pressure for LG refrigerators without the water filter should be 20 to 120 psi.
The exterior and interior of a fridge. A gauge goes up to 120.
The water pressure for refrigerators with the filter should be 40 to 120 psi. A pressure test is an easy way to determine why the ice tray is overfilling. The best way to identify if the water pressure is too high or too low is with a measuring cup and a wristwatch. Here's what to do.
A glass measuring cup and a wristwatch.
Get a measuring cup and a wristwatch with a second hand or stopwatch function. Have someone hold the watch or stopwatch for you while you dispense water from the refrigerator for 8 seconds.
They dispense water into the measuring cup. An arrow points to the line of water dispensed in the cup.
If the water pressure is too high, you will have more than 8 ounces of water in the cup. In this case, the water pressure will need to be reduced.
The water pressure on a gauge reduces from 120 to 100.
If the water pressure is too low, you will have less than 3.5 to 4 ounces of water in 8 seconds. This will create the same overfilling problem because the Icemaker uses water pressure to close the water fill valve. If the water pressure is too low, the valve will not close all the way and the water will go to the Icemaker tray. You will need to increase the water pressure. If the water pressure is too high, there are 2 ways to reduce it. The first is to partially close the home water valve that supplies the refrigerator.
A user closes the valve on the pipe by hand. They repeat the measuring cup and watch test.
You may need to run the pressure test a few times to get the pressure in the correct range. The second way is to purchase a water pressure regulator from the hardware store and install it either before the house or before the refrigerator.
A regulator. A plumber works on pipes. A woman dials a phone.
If your water pressure is too low, contact a licensed plumber about installing a pressure pump to correct the issue. Be sure to advise the plumber what the water pressure requirements are for your LG refrigerator.
An ice cube tray full of ice.
If your custom cube tray is overfilling, this is usually the result of the size selector being set too high.
A circle appears around a selector on the side of the ice cube maker. It looks like 3 dashes.
The size selector can be used to accommodate water pressure. Each increase in size adds half a second to the amount of time the water fill tube is open.
The first, second, and third dashes light up on the ice cube maker.
Locate the size selector and adjust the ice size down to decrease the amount of fill time to the Icemaker. The size selector is located on the Icemaker and has a button or a pinhole selector with an LED indicator to show the ice size.
An animated water level rises in the Icemaker.
If changing the ice size fails to correct the problem, adjust the water pressure as described earlier.
A user turns the pressure knob.
If the unit has the correct water pressure and it is still overfilling, repair service may be needed.
A worker turns knobs on pipes.
Craft ice makers make ice balls in stages.
Balls of ice.
If the water pressure is too high or too low, you will end up with ice balls that are stuck together in a bar, or ice balls with a round ring on the top from the mold overfilling. Adjust the water pressure to make sure it is within the correct range.
A user adjusts the pressure. A gauge shows 60. An animation of the ice balls being overfilled and made with a ring around the center.
If the water pressure is correct and the unit is still overfilling the ice mold, the unit may require repair service.
A woman dials a phone.
If your twist and serve tray is overfilling, This is usually the result of the water pressure being too high.
A pressure gauge moves up to 140.
After you have corrected the water pressure, place a towel under the Icemaker tray to soak up any spilling water, then reset the Icemaker.
The user places a towel and pushes the on and off button on the Icemaker. The tray rotates.
After the tray rotates back into position, the water will fill the tray. Look for any overfill. If you do not see any, you have resolved the problem.
Water flows into the tray.
If the unit has the correct pressure and is still overfilling, repair service may be needed. Please visit our Request a Repair page. For further assistance, you can easily find our contact information on the LG.com website. Go to the support menu to ask us more questions.
This video is provided solely for informational and instructional